welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome. My name's Sarah. I make videos every single week here on YouTube talking about my acne journey and how I managed to get my skin from this to this. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then please hit the subscribe button below so that you can join me here each week. So now that I've got to a place where I'm really happy with my skin and I feel like I've got everything under control, I also want to help others who are suffering with their skin because I know how devastating that can be. So like I said, hit the subscribe button below and join me here each week. Okay, so today's video is going to be part of my Accutane series. So if you've watched a few of my previous videos, then you'll know that I finished the drug last April, so I've nearly been off Accutane for a year, and I was super happy with my results, but there were quite a few ups and downs. So I'll link the videos down below if you're thinking about going on raw Accutane, or if you are on Accutane, then please feel free to go and have a watch of those because there's tons of tips, and also I show my results and how my skin eventually looked. So yeah, they're down below. But today's video is going to be about how I maintained my hair on Accutane, because one of the side effects is super dry, brittle hair, which does have its pluses in some respects because it did mean that I didn't have to wash my hair really hardly ever, to be honest. So I think I used to go about a week before I'd wash my hair, and I could have probably gone longer if it wasn't just really gross. So yeah, your head, your scalp just doesn't produce any oil, a bit like your sebaceous glands in your face, which is how it clears your acne. But the kind of consequences of that is that your hair at the kind of roots starts to become really dry too, and there are lots of people who also suffer with hair loss, and I did see my hair thinning quite a bit in the first couple of months, but I did get a routine together which I want to share with you today, and I feel like this really helps strengthen my hair, particularly as my hair is bleached. So I'm going to get straight into today's video, which is all about how I kept my hair strong, soft and damage-free throughout my Accutane experience. Okay, so the first tip, which I think everyone should be doing regardless if they're on Accutane or not, is to use a heat protectant if you're going to dry your hair or straighten it. So I've got this one. This is the Rosemary Heat Defense Spray. I just make sure, and I still do, that I always spray this into my damp hair, let it kind of sit for a few minutes, and then I would dry my hair. I would definitely not advise using straighteners or curling tongs or anything with really high heat whilst you're on Accutane, because your hair is super dry at this point, and really any kind of heat is just going to break it, and it's totally not worth it. I think, for the short time that you're on Accutane, the sort of 6 months, I think would be a really great time to avoid all heat altogether. If I'd taken Accutane during the summer, I'd have probably just let my hair dry naturally, but I was on the drug over the winter period, so I did make sure that I was blow drying my hair, because obviously going out in the snow or the cold when it's really wet is probably not a good idea. Okay, so the next thing you definitely need to do if you haven't already invested in a hair oil is to definitely get one, because when you're on Accutane, like I said, your hair becomes quite brittle and dry, and the best way I found to protect my hair, particularly bleached hair, was to protect it with a hair oil once I'd washed it, but also as kind of a treatment at the same time. So I've got a few here that I tried, and I'll kind of give you the lowdown on which ones I thought were good and which ones didn't work so well. So the first one that I've got is this Argan Oil, and you really only need a tiny bit of this, because I found this actually stays in your hair, or you can kind of feel the texture of it in your hair a lot more than some of these other dry oils. But I probably use about this much in sort of the palm of my hands. I'd rub them together and then just kind of put that through damp hair before I dried it. And I found Argan Oil was good, but I didn't think it was the best oil I'd used. It was definitely the most natural, and that's why I opted for it first. But I did feel that it left kind of like a residue in your hair even after drying it. So I would recommend this more as a treatment. So kind of leaving that hair oil in for probably about 2 or 3 hours and then washing it out was a really good treatment to really kind of nourish the hair. But in terms of a product that you'd leave in and just kind of go out with your hair feeling like that, I wouldn't recommend it. So the next oil I'm going to talk about is this one by L'Oreal. I love this oil and I still use it to this day. It smells amazing. Literally every time I put this in my hair, I get some sort of compliment about how amazing it smells. So yeah, that's one thing. But the other reason I use it is obviously because it works really well. It's for normal to dry hair. I would say this one is the best feeling once you've dried your hair. It's really soft. You can't feel any kind of residue in your hair, and you really feel like it is working, because the sort of lengths of your hair just feel a lot softer than they would with any of these other oils. And also I'd say it's probably one of the more affordable ones, because I think I picked this up for sort of about £7 in Boots. So it's really affordable, and you get quite a lot of product, and there's 100 mils in here. So yeah, it's a really good option if you are also on a budget. So the next one was my favourite oil, and this one I loved because you could use it both as a treatment but also as a product to put into your hair once you'd washed it. And it's this one by Kerastase. It's a tiny little bottle of it, but quite honestly, you just don't need any more than this. And I really like this because it's only 50ml and I can take it on the plane with me if I'm ever just taking hand luggage, which did happen a few times. So yeah, it's a really good travel friendly size. It works so well. It's a much kind of thicker oil, and when you put it in, you just automatically feel like your hair is just detangled, soft, and it really doesn't take long to work. Once you've used this a few times, you really can tell a difference in your hair, because as I said, the first couple of months I was on Accutane, I'd really started to feel like my hair was sort of breaking every time I brushed it. But after a couple of uses of this, honestly, it really was making a big difference. So I would highly recommend this. And then finally, the best sort of treatment oil I found was by Kiehl's. And this one is the Magic Elixir. This stuff, honestly, is an absolute lifesaver. And the reason I think this is a lifesaver on Accutane is mostly because not only can you get dry hair, but your scalp can also become really dry and flaky. Thankfully, I didn't suffer from this too much, but I really do hold this responsible for that, because the first month, like I said, my hair was very dry, and I did start to feel like my skin on my scalp was also really kind of sore. But I had a little research and kind of looked into different oils and different ingredients that could really stimulate your scalp to grow more hair, because I was scared it was going to start thinning, which it kind of did towards the end of the second month. And rosemary extract, so rosemary leaf extract, is definitely a herb that is used throughout all kinds of medicine to stimulate the growth of your hair on your scalp and other areas of your body. And so because I saw this in this Kiehl's Elixir, I thought I definitely have to give it a go. And it does say here, for hair and scalp, for all hair, can't speak. So it does say here, for all hair and scalp types. So what I would do with this oil is really target the scalp. It's got this great nozzle that you twist up, and then you can kind of pinpoint the areas in your scalp where you really need it the most. I would then massage this into my scalp and down the roots of my hair, and I would leave this actually overnight. I'm not sure this is exactly what the instructions say. I don't think there are actually any instructions on the bottle, but I found this the most beneficial to actually leave overnight, and then wake up in the morning, wash my hair and wash the oil out. But this is a great treatment, and honestly, having used this after Accutane as well, I've really started to see my hair get thicker, stronger, and considering I bleach my hair grows really, really healthy, and I really hold this responsible, so really recommend getting this whilst on Accutane, and also any time that your hair feels like it needs it. So let me know down in the comments below if you can recommend any other hair oils, because still at the moment my hair is bleached, like I said. I'm always looking to invest in different hair oils or hair products that can kind of sustain healthy hair whilst bleaching it, straightening it, blow drying it. So if you've got any really good recommendations, then please leave them in the comments below, for myself and anyone else who is searching for an answer for dry hair on Accutane. So on top of hair oil, you can also look at getting different hair masks. I did have a few that I used, and some of them didn't work at all. I just found that they were really actually quite irritating for the scalp, particularly ones that were really heavily scented or contained lots of kind of chemicals and things. So whilst I was on Accutane, I really didn't find one that I absolutely loved. However, since this has actually arrived in my Birchbox, and this is amazing. I used this yesterday and I thought I have to mention this because it's pretty perfect, because it's free of sulfates, parabens and gluten. I don't know why gluten would affect your hair, but there we go. And it's also colour safe, and it's this one here by Luster, and it's a coconut mask, and let me tell you, oh my god, this smells incredible, literally incredible. It's sort of like, as you can imagine, a coconutty smell. But yeah, I would really recommend doing a hair mask sort of once or twice a week, really to rebuild the strength of your hair and just give it that extra TLC and nourishment that it needs, on top of doing the kind of oil treatments as well. I think really here, the main message is just to really baby your hair, really look after it, and give it as much treatment as it possibly needs. And I know it may feel overboard sometimes, but quite honestly, you'll really regret it if you just leave your hair as it is, because it does start to get really brittle, really dry, and if you don't start to take care of it by the end of your treatment, it's going to be really, really hard to fix the damage that it's already caused. I found out a few other little tips whilst on Accutane to really look after damaged hair. One being not to towel dry it, which felt really backwards to me because that's something I've been doing my whole life. But I actually decided to have a little research online, and I found out that lots of people were using t-shirts rather than towels to basically dry their hair when they came out the shower. And this is because the towels can be quite abrasive, can kind of catch your hair, pull on it, whereas a t-shirt is obviously a much smoother material. So I was doing that quite a lot when I came out the shower. Other tips would include using a silk pillowcase. And I'd actually already invested in these ages ago because I thought they were going to really help my skin in terms of anti-aging. They don't pull on your skin when you sleep. But I actually found these much more beneficial when sleeping on them for my hair whilst on Accutane, because they would make my hair feel really silky and soft when I woke up in the morning. And it was just by chance that I figured this out. So if you do have silk pillowcases at home, definitely recommend using them whilst on Accutane, because your hair will thank you for it. So like I said at the beginning of this video, I really didn't wash my hair very much at all whilst on Accutane. And I imagine most people don't, because obviously the build-up of oil doesn't really mean you need to. But if you're the sort of person that wants to wash it anyway, I'd really take a second to think about that, because the more often you wash it, the more often you're having to dry it, the more often you're having to towel dry it. And I think it's just better to kind of leave your hair as it is. So if you can get away with washing your hair once a week, then definitely do that. You can of course put these oils in daily to kind of keep the nourishment and keep your hair feeling a little bit more fresh and styled. But really refrain from washing your hair if you can, because honestly, your scalp will get more irritated by the products being used, like the shampoo and conditioner. So yeah, really good idea is just to leave it alone. So in terms of the shampoo and conditioners that I used, I tried quite a few of these out. I didn't find any shampoo and conditioner that was like holy grail, definitely working for my hair whilst on Accutane. But the best one that I did find was actually the Redken Extreme range. I think it's the Extreme range. Let me just blow that up. Yes, Redken Extreme range. It was great. I haven't invested in it again because it's quite expensive. But whilst on Accutane, that's definitely the one shampoo and conditioner that I felt was really kind of soothing on my scalp rather than irritating. I think I just had super sensitive skin, so particularly around the sort of backs of my ears would really start to hurt with some shampoos and conditioners. But with this, it was completely fine. I would say the conditioner was really nourishing. You didn't need to use a lot of it. So I'd really recommend that if you've tried quite a few shampoos and conditioners and they're all quite irritating. So lastly, I know this won't be for everyone, but I just wanted to touch upon what I did in terms of my hair colour whilst I was on Accutane. I know lots of people don't bleach their hair, but if you do and you are worrying about whether you can do this whilst on Accutane, then short answer is yes, you can. I was really lucky that my hairdresser is my friend, so I could kind of run her through exactly my kind of concerns really with putting bleach on my scalp. But she was really careful not to apply bleach to my scalp, and I know that they're not meant to do that anyway, but I imagine sometimes if you are at the hairdresser and they're not paying full attention to what they're doing, sometimes the bleach might hit your scalp, which of course would be pretty disastrous if you are on Accutane, because it would absolutely kill. So yeah, I did have my roots redone, I think maybe once. Yeah, I think it was only once in the 6 months. I redid my colour just before I went on Accutane, and then sort of 3 months in, I redid the roots, and it was absolutely fine. I just made sure for the week leading up to it, I was using a lot of this. And then afterwards as well, I would just make sure I was continuing with like scalp treatments just to make sure my scalp was fully nourished and in the best condition it could be. I would definitely recommend telling your hairdresser that you are on Accutane when you do go and get your colour done, because they really will advise you whether they think the products that they use are suitable for that or not. Sometimes they might not have heard of Accutane, so it's good to bring it to their attention as well, and just explain that obviously you need to be super careful not to apply bleach to the scalp, and that it may cause sort of more damage or more pain than it would normally if you weren't on Accutane. Okay guys, that's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Please leave me a comment down below, like I said, if you've got any other products that you'd recommend, or you've tried some of these products and you also have an opinion on them, please put that in the comments down below. But like I said, I make videos every single week here on YouTube, so I'll be back again next Sunday, so I will see you in my next one.